if you're like 37 and up and you have half naked photos on your profile, I just find like, I feel like you don't have a personality. That's all you have to offer.
I agree, yeah.
You only have, what?
Does that also, is that the same for females too?
Wait, where females have their shirt? Hey guys, welcome back to the Real and Relatable podcast. I'm Ma.
I'm AJ.
My name is Cash.
And before we get started, please remember to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. So we have all gone to the theaters and watched the newest movie, The Materialists.
Yes.
So we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about the movie. So when I watched it, I was very triggered. Very triggered in the opening scenes.
Why?
And throughout the movie. So just so you guys all know, if you haven't seen it, these are going to be, we might do some spoilers.
Alert. Yeah.
So if you haven't seen it yet, you feel free to skip to the end because we talk about other things. But I was really triggered in the opening scene just because of the expectations. I mean, I get it. Women have a lot of expectations too. But I feel like at the beginning screen credits where it talked about the guy was like, oh, I don't like her. She's boring. I wanted somebody who was like 30s, meaning like early 30s, not late 30s.
20 something.
Yeah.
He was like, she said 32 or something. And he said, no. 20 something.
Yeah, more his age range. Because he was like, what, in his like late 30s or?
No, he was like a 50-year-old.
50 was it?
So that was
he was old.
So that was a different one.
Oh,
so
okay.
So that
the
one,
beginning scene is what you're talking about.
So the beginning scene, so that one was different. That guy was 48, almost 50.
Yes. Okay.
And he wanted somebody who was
20 something.
Yeah. 26, 27, 28.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was triggering too.
Okay.
But this one, he was older, not that she was older. She was in her mid 30s. She was like 35, 36. But he was also in his late 30s, early 40s too. And he was like, no, I want somebody younger. I want somebody active. I want somebody this and that. And then you meet, and then they pan over to her, and she's excited. She's like, oh, it wasn't even somebody she was going to give a chance to, but she decided to. And then comes to find out he's literally like balding, doesn't even make as much money as she does.
Yes,
and I'm just like, oh my God, the audacity of this man. My goodness.
Yeah, she clicked with him a lot. I think that was the thing. It was like she was stating that she felt like she clicked with him. They had great chemistry. And then she said, he didn't meet all my boxes, but that's okay. I can overlook that.
Yeah.
And then he was all like, no, she doesn't meet my boxes. I'm disappointed. Yeah. And so he wanted somebody younger. And so that was a little triggering in regards to that scene happening.
Yeah, I feel like that happens a lot in dating. It's like, oh, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. This is going to trigger a lot of guys. but it's like, okay, you look like you crawled onto this earth, and yet you want a 10 supermodel, and then you get upset when she wants you to pay for all these things and basically provide for her life, and then you get upset and you start calling all women gold digger when you should be so lucky that she even talks to you.
Exactly. And this woman was actually making more than him.
Yes.
Right? She was making more, and she was looking for somebody who was making maybe 2 times as much as her.
Or probably equivalent to her.
Yeah. And she was still willing to overlook that. And I think that is commentary about dating in itself. Like if you really look in regards to men and women dating, usually the younger woman or a woman about their similar age, they're willing to overlook a guy who's not as appealing or as attractive.
A younger woman?
Yeah, or younger woman, or even
I think women in general.
Yeah, women in general. Because, if the guy makes you laugh, that was already a quality that we love, we can overlook that they're the short, stout kind of guy,
But I will say this, a lot of, this is just what I see on social media. And it could be just my algorithm. But a lot of the guys I see on my algorithm, they get upset because they're like, oh no, girls only like you for money. A girl only likes you for this. I was like, maybe it's just because it's the people you're going for. It's like you're going for these girls who already have this high maintenance lifestyle. And then you get upset about it. And then when you meet somebody who is normal.
But that's what they're attracted to also.
Yeah. But then they complain and they say, oh, I want somebody normal. I want somebody who's like domesticated, but you don't go for those girls. Those girls you overlook because she's not pretty enough.
Right.
Or boring.
Well, that's the thing. It's like if you're a man and you're chasing somebody who's really high maintenance because she's such a babe, you have to understand that that's her lifestyle.
Yeah.
And you have to, there's that upkeep, you know? Not that you have to support it or fund it, but if you're chasing after that, then that's what you have, that it's a nature of the animal. It's the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
You know, and like you said, if they're not going for that regular person who's the girl next door, who's a little bit more boring, but not as babylicious or whatever, then you're not going to have that. You can't want something and complain about what it comes with.
Yeah.
You know, and also somebody that, you know, 2 letters. You know, there's this guy who always complained about women.
Is this someone you dated, or is this a friend?
It's somebody who wanted to date me.
Okay,
and he was a friend. He was a friend. He wanted to date me, and we hung out. And I was. The thing that gets me is when a person is a softie at heart. So he lost one of his parents, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's such a softie, and it kind of made me feel for him. But he complained about women wanting like money and all this stuff and being expensive and this and that. But then how he tried to court me was he would leave his bank account statements in his car when we would go and eat out, and then he would leave receipts in the car.
So he was showing off
with his bank account statements, and he would always talk about how much money he has.
Was that a lot?
I mean,
I'm a little confused. Is this guy a lot of money, or was he really poor?
Okay, that's
it was maybe more than the average Joe, but
okay. So he was trying to impress you.
It wasn't a lot. You know, it wasn't.
He was also like flaunting it in a very unattractive way.
I mean, I worked in financial industry where I saw balances. You know, in my time, so I saw I saw balances with strangers. So to me, it's not a lot. I'm desensitized to money.
Yeah,
I'll see stacks of money, and to me, I'm desensitized. But no, it's not a lot. And but that's my point is, don't lead flaunting the same things for fishing and catching the same woman that you say you don't like, but then you obviously like that type of woman.
Did you find that was unattractive, that he left those bank statements out?
Yes, it's so unattractive. Yeah. Why would you do that? If you don't want to fish for women who cares about money, stop fishing. Stop using that as bait.
Yeah. Like if you didn't have like 3 savings account with $50,000 or $100,000 in each of them, along with a checking with $500,000 on there, then I'll just think you're poor and. Like I won't be impressed.
But,
like you have to.
You're so specific.
I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna leave bank statements, please leave several bank statements from different bank accounts that you have.
Oh my
with
God.
several $1,000s of money in there.
Credit scores.
Yes, exactly.
Tax stuff.
Even your pension, please, because if you do, then I'll be like, oh dang, like. He's gonna retire well.
Okay, would that make you more attractive to him?
But yes, I would think I would have a gold mine at that point.
Okay.
But yeah, don't leave it out.
regardless.
Yeah.
No. Sorry to cut you off.
No,
but I feel like regardless, whether or not you have money, lead with the heart.
Yeah.
Like lead with the emotions. Lead with the values.
Yeah. I think, but I feel like what some guys forget is that if the guys that do have money, they don't flaunt it like that, right?
Yes. They're humble.
They'll spoil you from time to time.
Right.
They'll pay for your dinner. They'll take you out. But it's not like they're leaving their bank statements out,
Right,
or it's not like
that's weird.
Or it's not like they're calling every women out there a gold digger.
Right.
It's like because they do actually have money.
Right.
Like it's always the guys who don't have money that are so quick to people call women gold diggers.
Yeah, there's like a saying. They're saying that a lot of men who call women gold diggers are the ones who are only having $40,000 salary.
Boy math. It's called boy math.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, that is true. Like those who are confident, who's got investments and have millions of dollars and like stuff like that, and they can talk to you about, liquefying their assets, or they could talk to you about what cash money they have right now and then you have somebody who's really great and who's got money and wealth, and they know what they're doing, and they lead with confidence. At that point in time,
Yeah, but the thing is that, like, I feel like sometimes guys don't understand that it's not always about the money. I think the money is very, very helpful. But the guys who are always like, oh, she's after money. It's like, no, it's probably because you have a really poor attitude and you have a really negative attitude about life in general and about dating.
Yeah.
And it's not that it's because you are broke. It's because you are a shitty person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we've talked about this before, and a woman's real estate is her looks and how much effort she puts into being attractive, because men will admit men are visual creatures.
Yeah.
You know, like
we did have people
Yeah.
disagree with us in the comments about that. They're like, oh, that's all she has to offer. No, I married my wife. Okay, first of all, we're not talking about the 1%. Okay, we're not talking about the 1%. Okay, we're talking about the general,
Majority.
the majority.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
if you are the rare 1%, shut up. Okay, we're not talking about you.
good for you.
Yeah, good,
We like that. We like that.
Congratulations. We're talking about everyone else. Like the majority of the time, and this is also testament from guy friends. They say the same thing, you know. It is true. Yes, the heart and all the personality and everything that comes after that is also what adds on to it.
Yeah.
But yes, your looks is, as women, your looks is what gets your foot in the door.
So okay, so they say your looks is what gets you the person, the date, right? But your personality is what keeps them.
Yeah.
Correct.
Is what they say about women, you know, and I think that's true.
Yeah.
And I think it's true for guys too. You know, a cute guy. If I go on a date with a cute guy, and when I have a conversation with him, it's completely dull, lifeless, and no personality, no wit, nothing. I would think, oh, what a waste of a very handsome face.
Yeah,
because there has to be substance.
Yeah, but we also are forgiving. Like, let's say he's not attractive,
Yeah.
but let's say, we'll just go off dating app. So, but let's say his dating app, he said something funny. Like one of his prompts is funny.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, he might be funny.
Yeah.
I have a good personality.
You're attracted to funny guys.
Yeah. So then, even though you may not be what I would consider attractive, I would still be open to it.
Yeah.
But I feel like on the opposite end with guys, I feel like they have to be attracted to you before they even swipe on you.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be wrong, but majority of the time, that's what it is.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. When you, I like what you said. You said you like humor. You like a guy who's funny because it shows that they're smart. Because you like witty funny.
I like witty funny.
Yeah, and
I don't like dad jokes funny. I like. It's not that.
what's wrong with dad jokes?
It's really corny.
It's cute.
I feel like it's really corny and dumb.
I think dad jokes can be cute.
Like, it's not that I don't get the joke. I do get the joke. I just don't think it's. I don't think it's funny.
Okay.
You know?
You're not getting a laugh.
Yeah. No, you're not getting a laugh out of me. Yeah.
I'll laugh at your dad jokes. Yeah. That's me.
She'll laugh at your dad jokes.
Yeah.
It has to be like
We
smart.
have disagreed. I'm like, what are you talking about, Mother? He's so funny.
I know.
I was like, no, not even.
No. But, I mean, I get the joke. It's just not funny to me. But yeah. Okay, so about the movie, so Materialist. So also in the movie, again, this is going to be a spoiler. So she comes down to having to choose between two guys, right? She had to choose between the struggling actor, who doesn't make a lot of money, drives a car that he's been driving for a decade, and she's probably going to be the breadwinner, but they're in love, or they love each other, and he loves her, and that's somebody that she can always like lean on, right?
Yeah,
always be vulnerable with.
Yeah.
Or the guy who can provide her the life that she wants.
Yeah.
Not that he doesn't love her, he will just love her in a different way.
Yeah.
He loves her in the way of, this is everything I'm supposed to do as a man. I'm
Yeah.
supposed to provide this for you. I'm supposed to take you out on date nights. I'm supposed to do this. Like,
So kind of surface level.
yeah,
Right.
like I love you in this way because on paper we look good together. On paper we create this really good lifestyle for everyone.
Well, yeah, and it's also like I'm supposed to take care of you, and I want to take care of you.
Yeah.
You know, like that's love language that he knows.
Yeah. So it's not in love, but it's a form of love, right?
Yeah.
Whereas this one, you're in love, right? So it's like, who do you choose? I think she chose based off of what the majority of women would actually pick.
Oh, really?
But I could be wrong. Okay, so if it was you guys, who would you have picked? Broken love or rich in that love?
I don't know. I feel like maybe when I was younger, I probably would have picked the Broken in Love.
Really?
Yeah, I think we would have probably worked it out.
Okay.
And I would try my best. And I'm also will be very naive and ignorant, right?
Okay.
To his capabilities and limitations,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, but what about now?
About now,
Yeah, now that you're older,
Yeah.
no, man. And I'm gonna let you guys know it's with Pedro Pascal. So like, I love him.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
guaranteed it would be him.
We're
But
talking about his character. His character. Not him.
I love
his
the star.
character. Yeah.
But yes, the character. I might, like, okay, so you remember we talked about White Lotus a little bit, and there was a part of the rich family when they were
Yeah.
staying in their little vacation home.
Yeah.
Mom was like, I'm old now.
Yeah.
The mom was like, I'm old and
Yeah.
I can't live.
I'm accustomed to some.
Yeah,
some
a certain lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I was like, I totally connect with that,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, I'm like in my 40s now, and I was like, I'm in this part where like I'm getting ready for retirement. I'm prepping for everything for retirement. I'm prepping for a life that of luxury that I'm gonna be able to
Yeah.
depend on, and I would say I would probably stay and pick Pedro, in regards to what he can afford and give me. And if I am a gold digger, oh well, that's fine.
wait. Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see you like that. I see you chasing after your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do, but I think I've come
She
to
said she's
terms-
older and she's wiser
older,
now.
yeah, older and wiser, and you know what? It's true. Like, there's some
I think it's
virals.
just Pedro.
Yeah, maybe
Okay,
just kidding.
Pedro's the
Take
one.
his face off of him and just think of the qualities and what he brings.
Yeah, no, the life that he chose was probably not as it's probably icy and more avoidant, right, in a relationship. But if I was to choose a relationship where both men were avoidant and one was poor and one was rich, I would choose the rich one who was avoidant. There was a viral thing where they're stating this rich grandma down the street, and they're interviewing her, and they were like, what is your vice? And she said, you know what? Men are all the same. She's like, you just have to choose if you want to cry in your Mercedes or if you want to cry with a Civic.
We've been seeing those memes. I mean, I'm sure all our viewers.
I
also
heard
saw
that
those
video was
memes.
AI generated.
Oh, was
Yeah.
it? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I was like, I was like, hell yeah. I can see that. I hear that
that's true.
argument.
That's
But okay, but look, let's say take Pedro away from the mix. What if it's because the thing is, it makes it easy when both men are attractive,
Yeah, yeah.
right? But if the man wasn't attractive, and you're choosing the lifestyle and the financial stability, would you still choose it? It's just like, because I thought about this earlier this year. I was kind of talking and seeing somebody who was financially secure, but the chemistry wasn't quite there. And I thought to myself, I thought,
But he can provide the life for you that you want.
he could provide a life where, because I want to have a family. I want to, and I've always supported myself. Like my whole life I have supported myself. Never relied on a man. But I was thinking, I want to have kids. In order for me to have kids and feel secure, I want to have a man who can give me some feeling of security financially.
Yeah.
So I could be a mom. So I thought to myself, is this what life is? Do I just choose somebody and make it work because he can provide me the kind of stability that I need to have a family, to be a mom? And the thought of it was really sad because I love love. I love to be in love.
Passion.
I love passion. I just want to go, and I'm like, I want to choose the love of my life. We don't have to have the most luxurious lifestyle.
Yeah.
And as long as my heart is burning with fire,
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But at the same time, it made me question that, like, is that what life is? Do you just choose somebody?
Yeah.
Is it just an arrangement?
Yeah.
So
wait, so would you pick the struggling actor or would you pick rich dude?
Well, I feel if I was to put myself in the movie, I feel like love grows, love develops. It's difficult as the main character, the lady in the main character. It's difficult for her to choose because she's comparing this new love with this Pedro person.
Yeah.
Financially stable, but he's not as warm. He's not as fiery with his love.
Yeah.
And in the movie, he probably has
Yes,
never
he did say that.
he probably has never been there before. He said he's not good at it. I feel like it could have been achieved because love takes time. Love
Yeah.
grows.
Yeah.
It could have been achieved. However, it wasn't a fair chance for Pedro, in my opinion, because she had an existing fiery love already.
And she's experienced it. And he it sounds like he hasn't. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Pre-existing. Even in the beginning, when Pedro, in my opinion, he never had a fair chance. Because when they met at the wedding,
Yeah.
she saw her ex.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was the server. She already got up and you could see the butterflies in her stomach.
Yeah, yeah.
And Pedro saw it.
Yeah.
He saw it. The whole theater saw it.
Yeah.
You know, so he never really had a real chance because there was an ex-lover factor in there.
Yeah, yeah.
So if he never existed, Pedro and her may have had an opportunity. Love grows.
So they were talking about the unicorn effect, right? Because
Yeah.
like Pedro stood for the unicorn.
Oh, yes, he
like
did.
Yeah, yeah.
he met all the boxes that
Rare.
women want. Yeah, he was tall. He had height thing. Like
He was fake tall, but
fake tall. Yeah, but you don't
but
find
fake
that out
spoiler,
later, right?
spoiler.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
He's not a real unicorn, I guess, depending on whatever your factors are.
But like they stated, it was a game
Yes.
changer, right?
Yes.
Like so. In regards to all that, he was the unicorn that everybody
Yeah,
right.
was stating.
Because he was kind, he was charming, he was rich, he
Humble.
was
Yeah.
tall. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
He
comes
meant
from a
everything
good
that-
family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like I hear what you're saying, like in regards to like the ex was there, and so she had a choice to choose either the unicorn.
Well, the flame was already
Oh yeah, and the
pre-existing.
pre-existing flame, you know. And if both of them came to her at the same time, and she didn't have any experience with either of them,
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
there's what would that have looked like,
I mean,
right?
there's no history.
Yeah,
no
exactly.
history.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
imagine this. If the movie was changed and rewritten and she met both of them for the first time at the wedding, Pedro would have more of a chance.
Yeah, I think so.
Right?
I would think so.
If,
yeah.
If they first met for the first time and he was like, oh, Pedro's cute, charming, the server is cute and charming, and they didn't have that ex relationship, I don't think the ex would have won.
That's a good fact. I agree.
Okay, well, if you throw that in there.
You know what I mean?
Because that did change things
It
a
changes
little bit.
things.
Yeah, it does.
It changes things. They had a pre-existing relationship. Pedro didn't have a chance, in my opinion.
Okay, fine. He had a leg up on that, in that.
He did have a like,
Yeah, that. Even though I would hate to say this, I would still pick love. I don't know why.
You would still pick love.
I'm not surprised. You're a lover. You're a lover at
As
heart.
much as I would have wanted
Yeah.
the Pedro Pascal life, and even though it's not like in love, it's love, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
his version of love, right? Even though I really would want that, for some reason, I still would pick the broke Chris Evans. But if he looks like Chris Evans, though, okay, whatever. He has to look like Chris Evans, though, okay? He can't look like, some
Then I
creature.
gotta keep Pedro, okay?
not like dad bod and balding and out of shape.
Yeah, I don't know. Some
You would check the broke
some
dude.
sad, pathetic part of my stupid little heart would be like, let me go help you. Let me help your life.
I don't know. Okay. Is it because you like to save
Yeah.
people?
I
Or
don't-
save show
I
them
mean,
they're deserving?
I think it's probably like childhood trauma, right? It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I always just feel so guilty. Like, I can't leave this poor man to suffer in the world
Yeah.
alone, even though he probably won't do the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
back. But trust me, I want to pick the other one. I
Yeah.
really, really want to pick the other one. I just know that somehow I'm going to get suckered in and pick the one that I didn't want to pick. And then I'm going to grow old and resent them and probably smuggle them in their sleep. Just kidding. But with love. All with love. All with love. So I don't know. It's just very difficult to pick, two situation. But anyways, okay. So also in the movie, they do show some clips. So that was like the main part of it, right? Who she was gonna pick. The other one is that also shows like the expectations of men and women when they're dating, because our world is now filled with dating apps and what do they call those?
Lots of distraction.
Yeah,
and
matchmakers.
Matchmakers, yeah,
Yes,
that's what
yeah.
it is. And it's matchmakers, right? And everyone has boxes that they need to check, right?
Yep.
So it goes through this series of like men having their expectations and women having this expectation, and it shows like the difficulty of and the disconnect between the two.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I was triggered by a lot of the men's their boxes that they want to check, but then I also sympathize with the guys who are looking for genuine connection, and they meet these women who have a really, really, really long list or like very specific expectations too.
Exactly.
So I was like, so for us, like, so when we go on the first date, like what are you looking for before you're like, okay, yep, I will go on a first date with you?
For me, I always keep my eyes open for red flags. I look for someone who's sane, not crazy.
Okay, but do you know that before you go on a date?
You don't know that before you go on a date, but then you can kind of gauge based on their profiles. For example, when I'm swiping, again, I saw this surgeon, and he made a comment on his dating app, and he's like, if you ever need help with a scalpel, that's me. Oh. And then a winky face, and the whole time
Serial killer.
I'm like I'm afraid to date cops. I'm afraid to date people who are talking about scalpels, because the first thing I think about is organs. Scalpel and organs, removing organs.
He's gonna sell your organs on the black market.
I don't know.
You're not thinking of ching ching money, but you're thinking of like, oh dang, he's gonna cut me.
It's scary. It's just, you see all these things, and when you're a doctor, they know the concoction of what to put in someone's drink, or whatever things that they have access to as a doctor, they can order those things. And I watch sometimes. I started watching murder stuff, and it's just a little scary.
Too much true
and
crime.
Cops who are so strong and they have connections, they can cover things up. I just no, thank you. So you're right. You don't know who's cray cray and who's sane, but we do our best to try to filter things out and look for things that are
it's probability.
Normality.
Yeah. So how have that changed? Like when you were in your 20s and you were like looking for filters, what was those filters versus filters
when
now?
I was in my 20s, I didn't look for filters. I didn't.
We say, are you good looking? Yes.
Yeah. Is he 5'7" or higher?
You make me laugh.
No, I didn't even look for those criteria.
No.
When you're in your 20s, just like, oh, you're attractive. I'm attracted to you. Let's go on a date.
We like each other. Yeah,
He looks good with that shirt off on the profile.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't like those. Okay, first of all.
Wait, why? You don't like what?
Guys who have profiles that have their shirt off.
Girl, your ex had his shirt off all the time. I know. On MySpace.
That's why I don't like it.
On MySpace, I remember I saw your ex, and I didn't even know you or him, but I remember.
Oh, that was
him.
before I knew him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I made my sister just like talk smack and made fun of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're like, oh my god, this dude so naked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, that was in our 20s. Like, okay, wait,
real 20s.
Wait, before 20s, like early 20s. Early 20s
Yeah.
is probably what it was. But yeah, no. Now, if you're like 37 and up, and you have half naked photos on your profile, I just find I feel like you don't have a personality. That's all you have to offer.
I agree,
Okay.
yeah.
You only
Wait.
have what?
Is that the same for females too?
Wait, where females have their shirt?
No, I'm like bikini.
Yeah.
Because I have bikini photos in my dating app. Is that the same?
I don't know, man. You guys should come and comment and let us know.
Wait, I don't want guys to think that about me.
I have no idea. Yeah, that's true.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay, it might be sending the wrong message.
Okay. Maybe I should take my bikini pics down.
All these guys in the comments are gonna be like, no, don't take it out. It might send. I think it depends on what kind of bikini photo is it. If it's like Sports Illustrated,
It's not Sports Illustrated. It's just I'm on a boat
Okay.
It might be okay, but
or I'm on a beach.
okay. It might send the wrong message. This is just coming from a prude. I'm a prude, so that's just me. It might send the wrong message.
Okay.
That you just are looking for fun.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, let us know if you agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
interesting.
You guys can disagree.
Especially men in their 40s. I would love to hear, what they
Yeah.
have to say about when they're looking through the profiles.
Like,
you know?
like if
Like, do you want to see a woman with her kids in her arms? You know?
But
no, they don't want to see that.
But you also told me that when you had your dating app and it was just the face.
Yeah.
and somebody said after you put a whole body photo, then he started to talk to you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
he wanted
true.
to make sure.
I think all men. This is a place
So
for
he
all
was
men.
very honest with me. That one was very honest
Yeah.
with me, and we're still friends. But when I first created, this was a long time when I first created my profile online, I only had face photos because I rarely took body photos because I don't know why, I just never did. And so then I finally took a body photo and I added it to my profile, and then he messaged me.
Yeah.
And so then I did ask him. I was like, "Oh, like, why did you just now message me?" Because we already matched like a month ahead. He just never okay, maybe it wasn't a month. It was a few weeks. But he just never messaged me, and I never messaged him. And then the minute I switched my photos out to a full body
Then he
photo,
came in.
and then he came in and said hi to me. So then I was like, what? And so then I did ask him. I was like, oh, like, what? Did you message me because I updated my profile? He goes, yeah, because you only have face photos, and I wasn't sure if you were fat. And I was like, that's rude.
Yeah, I mean, at least he was honest, but yeah, that is rude. But I get it though, because when it's just the face, it's easier for girls to adjust the face.
Yeah.
To modify the
And
photo.
so many filters nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you can filter the body too now, though. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
true.
Okay, but yes.
So some body photos help, but maybe not bikinis.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It might work. Like if you're looking for somebody who's active and you're in a bikini because you're doing something active, I would think that an active guy who's looking for a woman who's going to be secure.
What activity do you do in your bikini?
Like you might be running or swimming. Like I don't know. Like
You run in your bikini?
on the beach. Yes.
Like Baywatch?
Like Baywatch.
Okay, now you're just making excuses.
Only if you're
Okay,
a
let's
lifeguard.
make it
If
real.
you're a lifeguard.
I feel like men, like we stated, men are visual creatures.
Okay, yes, they are.
So like I feel like any man in any age is going to appreciate a woman in a bikini,
But
right?
is it giving off the wrong signal?
It might, but that doesn't mean that it's going to deter the ones who are looking for someone serious as well, right? That's what I'm saying. It's like it encompasses with women. If we see a man who has half the shirt off or whatever, has his shirt off, like I'm going to assume yes that he's not serious, right?
Yeah.
But for a man, I would think that since they're visual creatures, that it's not going to be a criteria.
deter them.
Yeah, that deter them. That's not going to be
Yeah.
a criteria.
Okay,
You know,
maybe as long as not all of your photos are, or like
Yeah.
majority of your photos are.
At one point, I was told that I should. My guy friend was like, maybe take 50% of them down.
Oh really?
and then I have heard comments like, "Oh, you really like the beach, don't you?"
Oh really?
So I was like, "Oh shit, okay." So I threw him some other photos.
Good. Yeah. I mean, that's the feedback I hear too. From
I don't want to give off the wrong signal.
Okay.
I feel like the guys who are looking for something serious long term, like I've had conversation with guy friends and also heard interviews from other people and men. When they're looking for somebody serious, they're stating they're going to look for a profile with pictures of them doing different activities. It's not just one place at the club, at the bar, with a drink in her hand or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's also tiring to see too. So I feel like if they're going to be serious in regards to having something long term, they're going to want to see you in different spaces, doing different things, and that's fully clothed or
Then maybe I should put
half naked.
my hiking photo back up.
There you go.
I should put that back up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I took it down and then I should put it back up.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
are you in bikinis too?
Like
Yeah, I'm on top of the mountain with my bikini on.
like I said, there's no activities with a bikini, okay, unless you're on the beach. Okay, that's the only activity. Okay.
Wait, so originally you were stating that deters you. A guy that's topless.
Yes.
Why?
Because I feel like that's all they care about. Like that's all you care about. I feel like you probably don't really have a personality, and you think that women are just going to be attracted to you because you're shirtless or that you have a nice body, but you probably boring.
Yeah.
Or you're probably a narcissist. Or
So it's like that guy leaving receipts, bank account receipts in my car, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Fishing with
I
that.
also don't
baiting.
like that.
Yeah, baiting with
when
money.
they have like photos with like fancy cars or like
Oh
their
yeah, the
mansion.
Porsche,
I'm like,
Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's probably not even your
It's cringy.
car or your house.
Yeah.
It is pretty cringy.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like guys who use filters for their photos. Yes, I get it. Women use filters for their photos.
Some guys use filters
for their photos.
That's a different psychology.
How can you
I
tell?
feel.
Because it's white and it's blurry and his skin looks
Perfect skin, glass skin, glass skin.
Maybe that's his like photo from 10 years ago. And he had to clean it up.
You know those Snapchat photo filters where you filter it, but it has like all these things in the background.
Yeah.
Like the hearts in the background with the star in the background.
Guys don't do that.
Yes, they do.
No way. Guys use Snapchat filters with neon hearts in the back.
Yes.
Okay, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, because it makes their face look smooth and like white or whatever. But then like
seen it.
they have all these like filters in that, or like they just filter it completely where their skin is so smooth it looks like you took like a blur tool and just blurred the entire photo.
That's interesting. I haven't seen that.
Oh, you guys have, oh my god, is it just me?
Maybe that's in your algorithm.
Maybe it's just you. Maybe like
Okay, I will say it's mostly Asian men.
oh,
who do
okay.
that.
Okay.
I won't say what specific ethnicity.
Oh, okay.
It's always one specific ethnicity,
Okay.
but I won't say which one.
Yeah, maybe that's why I don't see it because that doesn't fall into my algorithm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
But I don't know. Maybe it's normal for them to do that. But no, that's a no for me.
Yeah, me too. I wouldn't.
I also this might be like, okay, you guys can tell me if I'm being too like cut them off. Maybe I'm being too much like the girls on in the movie. Okay, if we match and you don't respond or you don't reach out and I give you 3 days max.
Okay.
If you don't reach out in 3 days max, I'm unmatching you. Or if we talk, like let's say we talk back and forth for a little bit and you haven't responded for 3 days, I unmatch you.
Yeah.
Or I feel like my list is getting longer and longer. Or you haven't asked me out on a date, I give you a week and a half. I feel like that's pretty generous. If you haven't asked me on a date in a week and a half, I'm matching you.
Yeah.
It might be unrealistic.
Yeah, I think that works for you and against you.
Yeah.
Only because maybe it's just my fault. I'm the type of woman who I don't talk for months and months and weeks. So that's my fault too. Because I get overwhelmed, so I don't go into the apps and I probably treat men that way where I don't respond. And they have to be patient if they want to talk to me because I'm just not on the app.
Yeah.
It takes me forever. But I get it.
Yeah.
And okay, so recently I went to France, over a month ago now, maybe a month and a half ago. And this guy, we've been talking for a month and a half or so before and during when I was in France, right? And he continues to write novels.
Wow.
Like we're getting to know each other and it's so deep in novels. And then he's traveling, I'm traveling. I'm understanding because I was traveling too, but he continues to travel. And then he's back in LA and then he's going to travel again. And I just stopped it. And I just said, hey, are you real? Or do you live in LA? And I don't want to invest more time writing to you when I don't even know if you're real.
Yeah.
He said, hey, I'm real. Here's my website. I'm real. Yeah.
What website?
He's a creative, so he's like a director. So, so he has his website, media website.
Okay.
But my point is, why are we investing all this time writing novels to each other? Why can't we just hop on a phone call?
Oh yeah.
Just call me.
So he wants to be
Or
a
like
pen
do
pal.
FaceTime.
Right.
Yeah.
But then he's like, no.
He wouldn't do that either.
Well, I mean, I didn't propose it, but he continues to just write his novels.
Oh.
And I said, please get at me when you're in town.
Yeah.
Because I want to know that you're real. We should at least hop on a phone call.
Yeah,
I said,
exactly.
let's just talk. He said, oh, thank you for keeping it real. I appreciate that. Okay, I'll let you know when I'm back in town. But first of all, it's hard enough to keep my attention because I'm not trying to like brag at all, but it's hard enough to keep anyone's attention on the dating apps.
Correct.
You're bombarded with, hi, who are you? What's your favorite color? What do you like to do for fun? And everybody goes to the bottom of the list and it's just overwhelming to your senses.
Yeah.
I think men and women could probably relate.
Yeah.
So I don't like that. And to your point, I don't like people who just hi, how are you?
Oh my
how
God,
are you?
those are the most
Forever. It's just like, no.
I will say that too. Like if I give you I give you 3 interactions before I unmatch you. Like if you say hi and I respond, and then you say something else and I respond, but then I'm also engaging in the conversation. Like I'm asking you about things on your profile, I'm asking you things about your life, but then you're just responding. Then I'm no longer responding.
Yeah, like they're just being interviewed, and they're not bouncing back.
They're like it feels like you're not interested in me either. So then let's just be done with it.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. No, definitely. Like my current boyfriend that I'm dating right now, when we first connected on the apps, there was such good banter. You know, we talked about a lot of things, and he wrote me long paragraphs too. And I think that's what I really appealed to me, and I really
it's
liked
good.
it.
It's engaging. Yeah.
Because we were able to like bounce off ideas, like what our likes, dislikes were, our personalities, and I think that's why I was like, okay, I really want to meet this guy. You know, and we did, and for me, it is true. Like, you know, you might give 3 days. If we're having a conversation and within 3 days, there's no interest to, hey, let's meet up and get coffee.
Okay, I give them a week and a half.
Okay, a week and a half. Even then, that's really nice. Like, I would cut them off too, because I'm like, what are we doing? You know, like if I can't meet you and to talk to you after even 3 days of talking, chatting, and we're having really good banter, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I would totally unmatch as well, you know? But this, my current boyfriend right now, it's like we bounced really well, and then we started talking, and we were like set up about meeting, and we met for coffee, you know? And that was pretty fast too. That was like within days of us chatting. So
wait, your boyfriend?
Yeah, my current boyfriend. Yeah.
Wait, didn't you ghost him for a year?
That's another story. Okay. But when I came back,
you guys,
when we came back and reconnected,
together now.
We're together now, and it works out.
Yeah.
But yes, but when we reconnected and talked,
and then it came together.
Yeah, it came together.
Yeah.
Like even then, when we reconnected, because I ghosted him and then I came back. Okay. And then I reached out to him and we talked. We still talked for a couple of days, and then we said, hey, let's meet up and talk and meet up.
Okay.
And, you know, and are you available? Are you still single? Let's meet up, you know?
I feel like people have lost the art of banter. I mean, maybe I lost it too. For all I know, maybe my conversations are so dry and boring. And
Hold on. What is the art of banter? Can you explain that?
Yeah, like being able to go back and forth about anything, any topic.
Yeah.
Like it's not just a cool. You know, hey, how was your week go? It's been great. Okay. So what do you like to do for fun? I like to go golf. Okay. Well, it's like, what?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I feel like those are the ones who are not serious, though. Those are the ones who are, I think, have another wife.
Okay.
And children. Oh my God.
Maybe. Who knows?
Okay. You 40, okay? You need to, if you have a wife, you should not be on the apps, okay?
Exactly.
We will find out. Women are detectives, okay? We will always find out. Just by your demeanor, we'll know that you have another family.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, you men should be taking dating a little bit more seriously.
If you're on the apps, it should be serious.
Right.
And you should be asking this other person how they are, what they're doing, what their interests are.
Yeah.
I think that is just politeness and etiquette.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But then if I'm asking you, you just respond, then it's like, why did you even match with me? Don't match with me.
Yeah. It's irritating when I feel like I'm interviewing the person and they're just answering me. Then I'm just like, I'm gonna unmatch them because they're obviously not interested enough. I'm not here to interview them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, do you want to get to know me or not? Let's meet up. Let's have a conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly.
I don't like meeting up either. No, I just don't want to date.
So I don't know, like to answer your question, for me, like make sure they're not crazy and there's common interest and common values, you know.
Wait, how long do you talk to them before you long do you go back and forth in the text?
I like to establish enough interest and a desire to have a conversation at least within maybe a week and a half.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, same ball, same time.
Yeah, you know? I mean, and that guy who wrote me the novel, he kept writing to me novels for a month and a half. Wow. It's just too long.
Yeah. Okay, so I had a guy that was also the same thing. We wrote novels back and forth to each other, but he took like an entire month to ask me out on a date. And by the time he asked me out on a date, I was out of town. So it's like, and so then by the time I got back from being out of town, I lost interest. I'm no longer interested.
Yeah.
The conversation already died. Like,
Yeah.
like there's no more common interest.
Yeah, so when
I feel like we've already known each other through the text messages, and there was no more interest.
How
beyond
long
that.
is too long? I think that's the question,
month.
right?
A month is long.
Yeah. I think that's what we're agreeing, right?
Yeah.
Like a month long of conversations and no additional steps into meeting or
Especially if our conversations are really long
Yeah.
and very like deep, then it's like clearly, we're both interested in each other, so why are we not meeting up?
Right.
And I know guys are going to be like, well, why don't you ask them? Okay, first of all, no, I am not asking anybody out on it.
As a woman, I'll never ask a guy, hey, did you want to meet up? I'll never.
Yeah, unless I already know you and you're a friend.
I'm
Then
sorry,
that's
I
different.
would. I totally would.
Oh, you would?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I want to see if they're real, if they're going to step up to the plate.
you're so nice. Wait,
I'm not nice. I'm really
Okay,
willing to
wait.
find if I'm going to get catfish.
so if you ask them out, are you paying for the date?
Sometimes I will. Yeah.
Okay.
This is coffee, right?
Well, she's already coupled up, so she's off the market.
So for all you men who like to be chased, she's already taken.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So sorry. You guys stuck with the men that you're going to have to
you
chase.
stuck with us. We're not gonna chase.
We won't chase.
Yeah.
I won't chase.
Sorry, I don't care if I'm on my deathbed. I'm still not chasing you.
Yeah.
I will die alone. That is okay.
Yeah.
No cats because I hate cats. But anyways, okay. Let's get back to the topic. I feel like we went all the way off on subject. Okay. Overall, the movie, I thought I kind of didn't like that she chose Chris Evans at the end. I mean, you guys can tell me if I'm wrong. I feel like women who are older would probably pick people more like Pedro Pascal. Women who are younger, who don't really have that much more expectations or don't have like much expectations for their partner, would pick Chris Evans. Because when I was younger, I still would, but when I was younger, I did go for people who were like with the potential of them doing of them that they're going to get their life together, right?
Yeah.
Because you have time. When you're young, you have time. They have time to get their life together.
I think I'm still trying to.
I'm
still falling in love with Mr. Potential.
Yeah. I'm trying really hard not to, okay?
But that conflicts with what you said earlier.
Yeah.
Because earlier you said you wouldn't. Earlier
Yeah.
you said you would choose Pedro.
Yeah. If I had the opportunity.
But you just said that you would still.
Yeah.
But you just said that you think you still would choose Evans.
Yeah. But Pedro also is a different potential too, right? He's the potential that he could fall in love with you. There's that potential too.
Yeah, that's
right?
a different kind of potential.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
We're talking about struggle or no struggle.
Whatever, there is struggle. You're either going to be with somebody who's never going to love you and struggle through that, knowing that it's going to be a lifeless relationship.
Okay, you have your emotional and mental struggle.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you have your financial, emotional, and mental.
Exactly. My dad,
there's more struggle on this end than there is on this end.
yeah, like my dad says, when you cry, you're either going to cry when you're in the relationship or cry when you're not in the relationship.
Well, you cry in a nice house or you cry on the street.
Yeah.
You're going to cry.
I'm gonna end up crying in my car. That's just what it goes down to. I don't know, but I could be wrong, and maybe a lot of women would be like, no, I would pick Chris Evans too. It's like, okay, unless you're in the situation, it's hard for you to say. But I feel like I've been in that situation. When I was younger, and
I've been in that situation too.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that we all have. I think most women have.
Yeah.
Where I took care of my man. I pay for our dinners. I pick him up. He didn't have a car.
Yeah.
I think we've all been there at some point in
you
our
were on the
lives.
struggle bus with him.
Yeah. I supported him.
So now, would you pick that struggle? Or?
No, but here's the thing. If you really put it into perspective, for example, who's that really handsome guy from Crazy Rich Asians? The main star.
Oh,
Henry?
Oh, yeah.
Golding?
Yeah.
Henry
Correct.
Golding. So I think I could be wrong. I think he's been with his partner, his wife, for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think that they had been together ever since he started his acting career.
Correct.
Prior to that, right? Yeah. So you choose love, and sometimes you choose it could pay off, or it might not pay off. You choose love. So that's one thing. But also, it's not to say that when you choose love, divorce is one of the reasons why people get divorced, right? I mean, financials.
Yes.
Cheating and financial arguments
True.
are a top reason for divorce.
Yep.
So it's not to say that like when you choose love, you guys are still not going to argue and get divorced later.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That could still happen. This fairy tale of this movie, we don't know in 10 years, they might still get a divorce.
Yeah.
Because she's like, wow, I don't know why I came back to this and I just can't do it anymore.
Yeah. I'm tired of being on
You
the
know?
struggle bus. Yeah.
So we don't know. My point is there's no guarantees no matter what you choose.
Oh, right,
Correct.
right, right.
Yeah, yeah.
Pedro might not ever fall in love and she might be in a loveless marriage.
Yeah.
I can't be in a relationship and be loveless and feel lonely. I would feel like my soul is dying.
Yeah.
So I would not choose Pedro if there was no love. Now, if there was potential, I don't know, maybe. But
he would love you in his way.
in his way, yeah.
Is that enough for you?
Yeah. I would try to bridge the gap because in the movie he said he's not good at loving.
Yeah.
And he said he doesn't know love.
Yeah.
He hasn't experienced love before.
Yeah.
Subtract the Evans guy.
Yeah.
They could have had a fair chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She could have showed him how to love.
Yeah.
They could have learned how to love together with time. Love is built through making memories. They never took that trip.
Yeah.
You create love and connection through taking trips together,
Yeah.
through going through losses together,
Yeah.
through fighting and recovering.
It's a journey.
together.
Yeah.
That's how you fall in love.
Wait,
Yeah.
so pick. Who you picking? Brokey and love or Rich and his version of love?
Yeah.
For me, honestly, I don't like to pick brokey.
Okay.
But I pick history.
Pick history.
Okay.
So if brokey was my ex,
Yeah.
I would probably pick my ex.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I pick history.
Yeah.
I pick
So you had the
pre-existing.
experience of this guy you were dating that you were taking care of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the
Okay,
thing. though.
wait. But what if it is okay? What if it is your ex who rhymes with airy?
I would have picked him. I would have picked him.
That
I
is history.
Yeah. So okay. Oh, I was gonna say this. I did date somebody who starred in a movie. He wasn't the star, but I did.
He was just in the movie.
I did date somebody who was in a movie with Clint Eastwood, and I will also say this. Just because you choose the person that you're in love with and he's struggling and you're choosing him because you're like, I love him and I love I believe in his potential.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that it's going to work out. Even if he gets rich, it doesn't mean he's not going to leave you in the dirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know this because my ex, he after he got into the movies, when things got good for him, that's when he started
His head blew up.
buying
Yeah.
stranger ladies drinks. He's in front of me. He started ditching me in a snowstorm. Ditched me in a snowstorm to go to an event because he didn't want his girlfriend there. You know, so
terrible.
sometimes fame and power and money changes people too.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean because you stick by your guy,
Yeah.
he's gonna stick with you.
That's
either.
very true.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything is guaranteed.
But you would still choose someone like that. So
I choose because I choose love.
No,
you
you
know?
need to choose Pedro in this one. In this one, don't choose.
I choose love.
Don't
And-
choose Airy.
And I'm saying that because I know from experience.
Yeah.
I have experienced it where somebody I always believed in.
Left you for, like in the dust.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is my philosophy, and maybe it's not right.
Okay.
But I feel like God and the universe. Sometimes people don't get a certain lifestyle. They don't reach that success point because if they did, they would turn ugly.
Oh yeah, they would not be a good person.
And that is why they never quite get there, is because they haven't worked on their inner selves.
Yeah.
I'm a true believer in that. I also have girlfriends who never reached that point, but I, in my heart, feel like if they did, they wouldn't be as humble.
yeah.
You know?
Well,
So-
like one of our mutual friends, she was like, God didn't make me skinny because if I was skinny, I'd be a hoe. You know, like she goes, but God didn't make me skinny because it's trying to humble me. Okay, so that probably is true.
I mean, my dad was like, if I was born a woman, I would get everything.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, Dad, I'm glad you're not a woman. Because he was like, you guys are not playing it right.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, Dad, you're a man.
Yeah, so you know what men like.
Yeah, you know? But it's like, I don't know.
Okay, so in your case, don't pick Ari, pick Pedro.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like that's my point is
Yeah.
I don't choose.
Yeah.
Okay, if I was the woman in the main character,
Yeah.
I would choose love, but I would be like, hey, here's what we have to do. Like, I choose love, but we're not gonna be broke. Let's be
you
smart.
have a game plan.
Let's be smart and let's think of a way to make outside stream income. Let's think of a way to work together to find to work harder, work smarter, not harder, right? Yeah. Like I would have a plan, because I don't feel like things have to be black and white.
No,
I don't feel like you have to be either broke and in love or loveless and comfortable. I feel like we can get creative in real life, and we can collaborate.
Well, they kind of alluded to that at the end, right? That she
Yeah.
was going to get this really big promotion.
Yes,
That she was going to do well for
Yeah.
her and eventually them, is what they kind of alluded to at the end as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
Things
she
were
would
coming together.
still be the breadwinner,
She would be.
Yeah.
and she would probably still be okay with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But the
Which is
ending
a-
was getting happier.
Yeah.
Which is okay. I mean, if you're okay with that, that's fine.
Those are life choices.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah.
you do you.
Yeah.
If it was me, I wouldn't, but somehow I always end up in those situations anyways. So anyways. All right. I think we're going to wrap it up here. If you guys haven't seen the movie, we're sorry we
It's so
spoiled it for you.
good.
You can still
Oh
watch
my God.
it. It is still a good movie, especially
Yeah.
if you're somebody in the dating scene. It kind of really gives you
It's relatable.
it gives you a lot of
Yeah.
All the
perspective.
dating themes, everything.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think it did a really good job of touching out every aspect, not just bashing on men, but also bashing on women.
Exactly.
too, like when
Yeah.
it comes to dating.
Women are really ridiculously picky as well.
Yeah.
I am. I will admit
Yeah.
to that. Yeah. Still single. That's why. But anyways, all right, we're gonna wrap it up here. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank
Again,
you.
please remember to like, subscribe, and turn on your notification. Oh my God. And turn on your notification.
Bye.
Bye, guys.